Hello, today I want to talk about the first ever convention that I went to. And it was April 7th and 8th, 2018. It was Walker Stalker Con Chicago. And it was a Walking Dead convention. They had other um, things going on there too, but it was primarily Walking Dead. And there were many of the cast members that were present that you could meet and get photos done with, get autograph pictures of, and there was vendors that you could purchase novelties and comics and Walking Dead related stuff from at the convention. I got tickets to the convention for Christmas 2017 from my ex-girlfriend at the time, Sarah. Uh, we ended up going to convention together Saturday and Sunday. We went 2 days for it. And my primary focus going to it was to meet the cast members of The Walking Dead, which is one of my favorite TV shows. And at the time, I had been watching it for several years. And I really wanted to go to a Walker Stalker for several years before that, and just never got around to ever going to one. And I had mentioned it to her at some point in time, and she got me tickets for it. She also got me tickets for some photo ops and stuff from some of the cast. But it was a fun 2 days meeting some of my favorite characters from the show. We did a photo op with Steven Yeun, who is Glenn on the show. For photo ops, you didn't really get to talk to the celebrity. You just kind of walked in, take a picture with them, and leave. But Steven Yeun seemed like he was a nice guy. Walked in, put his arms around both Sarah and I, and took a picture, and that was it. And it was pretty much done. So I didn't really get to spend much time with him. I didn't learn, or I learned at that first convention that you kind of had to do the autographs or the selfies, as they call them, the photos at their table booth, to get more time with them and actually get to talk to them. I was never good with talking to the celebrities anyways. I would draw a blank when I'd get up there, and I wouldn't really say much. But in the conventions that I'd go to in the years to follow, I'd pick up on the fact that the photo ops give you a nice photo to take with them, but they are very quick. You just step in and take a photo and leave. So that was my only experience with Steven Yeun, was that photo op that Sarah and I did with him at my first convention. But seems like a nice guy. I would also meet, in the same fashion, Michael Cudlitz. Again, just did a photo op. We came in and stood next to him. He really quiet, just standing there, and I don't remember him even saying anything. Just walk in, take a picture, and leave. I wish I would have met both of them. It was right after their deaths on the show, but I wish I would have gotten autographs with them and would have done signed photos. In my future conventions, I would go through and I would just do the autograph and a photo with both. I would get the whole package if I could afford it, at least. And I wish I would have done that with them, or at least I hope to meet them again someday and I can actually exchange a few words with them. When I met Chandler Riggs, who played Carl on the show, we did what's called a selfie. And it's a photo, but it's not a professional grade photo, and it's taken with your own camera phone. But it's a little more personable because you get a few more moments with them to actually chit chat. He was a nice guy too. I mean, they all were pretty nice people. Chandler kind of stepped in, did a picture with them, and went on our way. When we were waiting in line to meet Chandler Riggs, he would be greeted by Norman Reedus, who played Daryl on the show. So I was within like 10 feet from Daryl and did some pictures with him in the background, but I didn't get to meet Daryl, but I got close to him at least. Got within a few feet. Some other characters that were there that I didn't have time to meet or ran out of money, because those conventions are pretty expensive, and you go meeting those actors and actresses, it racks up quite a bill. But Sarah Wayne Callis was there, who played Lori. Cooper Andrews, who played Jerry, was there as well. Didn't get to meet them. I would meet Lori a couple years later at another convention, but still to this day I've not met Jerry. Ross Marquand, I met him. He played Aaron on The Walking Dead. Also plays the Red Skull in Infinity War and Endgame of Marvel. He also voiced some characters on the What If show as well. Nice guy. He said I don't know if he said he lived, or he had family that lived nearby. But we had talking, and Sarah had said that we live in Mundelein, and he mentioned that he had some kind of family that lived in the area, so he was familiar with the area. Nice guy, like the others. I didn't get any photos with him. I had him sign a photo, a photo of him and Rick on the boat, and he signed it to me, and but I didn't get a photo with him. Jason Douglas I met. He was Tobit on the show, had a small part on the show, but he was on the show for a few seasons. Again, had him sign a photo for me. From him holding a gun. I believe it was during the Savior War, as the picture's from, but had him sign a photo. Really tall guy. I mean, he dwarfed over me. Really tall guy. Seth Gilliam, who played Father Gabriel on the show, met him, had him sign a poster. He was actually the first autograph that I got at any of the Walker Stalker conventions, so he was the first one. Father Gabriel. Took some pictures of him, like I did most of the actors, from afar, but I didn't get a photo with him. Austin Emilio, who played Dwight, met him again, signed photos with them, had him autograph at 8x10 of him on the bike. Seemed like a cool dude, like a guy you'd see you'd meet in public or whatnot. Didn't look like he was a celebrity. He just kind of laid back, t-shirt, ball cap. Jason Warner Smith played Gavin on the show. Not too talkative. Didn't have a very big line there. Not a lot of people familiar with him, but had him sign a photo of him. He was one of the saviors on the show, Gavin. They had other actors and actresses there from other TV shows. I weren't familiar with a lot of them because I wasn't watching a lot of their shows, but they had a fan fest there going on. It had other characters. Kirk Acevedo, who was on Walking Dead as Mitch, but he's been on other TV shows in bigger parts. He was there, among others. David Ramsey. Some that Sarah knew that I wasn't too familiar with were there. I didn't meet any of those. My main focus was the Walking Dead characters, being a big fan of that show, were the primary ones I met. Scott Wilson was there, Herschel Green on the show. Did a photo op with him, and again, those photo ops were quick, didn't really get to spend any time. He put his arms around us, gave a thumbs up. He actually passed away that same year, so I met him at one of his final conventions and final appearances before, in real life, he passed away. Scott Wilson. I met Michael Rooker, who was Merle Dixon in the show, and Yondu on Guardians of the Galaxy. I did a photo op with him. He's been in a couple conventions that I've been to. I wish I would have done an autograph and actually got to talk to him, because he seemed like he was really engaging with people. See him talking to other people. He seemed like he was having a good time, so he seems like a fun one to meet. But I just did a photo op with him. We met Tom Payne, who was Jesus on the show, and he was the first one I did a photo and autograph with. So we did the selfie with him, and he took the phone from us and took the pictures himself. So they're all up close selfie style photos. But he did a lot of poses, like a lot of goofy faces and stuff. A lot of personality in him. And then I had him sign a photo as well. So I got an 8x10 sign from him, and we did the selfies with him as well. I met Caitlin Nacon, who played Enid on the show. Real pretty girl. Kind of crushing on her, meeting her. But I remember shaking her hand, and it seems such like her hand was just like so like frail and skinny. I don't know. Not a very big girl, but that's just what I remember is like shaking her hand. I felt like I squeezed it too hard because her hand was so small. But she signed an autograph picture from her in a convention down the next year. I actually did a photo with her, but the first convention I just did the signed photo. Stephen Ugg. I was actually really looking forward to meeting him because Simon on the show wasn't a huge character as the Savior, but actually one of my favorite characters on the show. I liked his presence and I liked his character. Did an autograph photo of him as a Savior. Didn't get a photo op, but I took some photos with him in the background, kind of doing with him photo bombing my photos, kind of creepy, but yeah, it's the only photos I got with him. Pollyanna McIntosh was there. I didn't get to meet her, and she's been in a couple of them that I met. She was an Anne or Jadis on the show. I didn't get to meet her, but she was also there. I met Alexander Breckenridge, did a signed photo with her. She was also in American Horror Story, and she's been in other things too. But I met her while I had Sarah waiting in line, I think, for Ross Marquand. I hopped over and met Breckenridge really quick while that line was still dying down. A lot of waiting in line at the convention. Some of them had long lines. You'd wait in for half hour to an hour to even longer, and then some were pretty quick. They didn't have a line at all and just hop in real quick and meet. But I'm always kind of awkward meeting these celebrities. I don't know what to talk about, even if I'm very familiar with the actor or actress and their work. I never know what to talk about when the time comes. I draw a blank, so it's kind of like a small talk. Hi, how you doing? They sign something for them. I thank them, pose for a picture or whatever, and then move on. And then I'm kind of starstruck for a moment when I'm putting my signed photo or whatnot away. But I printed all the photos off, and I have all the signed 8x10s hanging up in my Walking Dead themed room right now. So I frame them all, hang them up, and I'm getting quite the collection. And this was the very first convention I went to. I'd go to 2 more Walker Stalkers. I've been to 1 C2E2, 1 Fan Expo Chicago since then, and I've met many more Walking Dead characters and actors and actresses, and more actors and actresses and celebrities beyond that too. So this was the first convention I ever went to, and I owe my ex-girlfriend Sarah a thank you for those tickets. But she would start something, and then I would keep going to conventions as I could afford. They were expensive, as I said. Very, very expensive to go to a convention. Well, it can be. Depends. You just have to be smart. But to meet all these people that I just said, that was a pretty good chunk of change. We probably spent about close to $1,000 between her money and my money. So, expensive, but fun. And like I said, I kind of use them as decor in my room, hanging on my walls. But fun to meet those people that I watch on the show that I enjoy. I try to only meet people that I like and in a show that I like or whatnot. I don't just meet people because they're a big name celebrity or whatever. I do pick and choose. They have to be someone that I like from something. But yeah, so met all these characters, Walking Dead actors and actresses. My first Walker Stalker Con, Chicago, April 7th and 8th, 2018. Donald E. Stevens Convention Center.